How's it going, Slay Nation? It is me, NexGenSlayer, and I know some of you might not like Napoleon Total War, but this is one of my favorite games of all time. Ever since I was little and saw like Empire Total War and all those Total War games before that, Empire was basically the first one I was exposed to. But before I get off on a tangent, Marshall, Suck It, Just the Tip, 27, NexGenSlayer, me, Sergeant Yellow Pepper, Vert, Crown, and Desert Fox. Those are the people we're fighting. Those three that are the defenders. Anyways, yeah, since I was really young, this game's been like one of my favorites. Just like watching it, like YouTubers like Prince of Macedon. He was like my ultimate favorite. YouTubers like Prince of Macedon, that he was like my ultimate favorite. But before we begin this battle, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of our troops. I have one light dragoon on this side, a normal dragoon, heavy dragoon you could call him, one rifle, two rifle, I have like two rifles I believe. Not that many rifles for a map like this. Probably would have been better to come more prepared. Anyways, we do have, it looks like, oh, we also have one Lightfoot. So basically they're like rifles too, but they can also act as infantrymen. We have one foot guard, foot unit, foot, and several more advanced units that are a little bit better and more effective in battle. Anyways, my ally has the Prussian army. I'm not going to go over all the troops, I guess, since that could take a while, but I'll just give you a quick run through of what his army looks like, his initial setup. I like the Prussians. Originally when I started playing, I didn't really care about the Prussians. Usually I just chose like Denmark or something. Austria, I mean, my bad. No one chooses Denmark unless they're like really advanced. And over here you can see the Spanish army, who's also an ally. He's got his men in rows, so just to charge up that mountain. And as you can see, the Spanish advantage is basically ambush troops, which get deployed outside the battle zone. So that's an advantage of Spain, since they aren't really strong anywhere else. And as you can see, this is Sergeant Yellow Pepper. I just remember him. And if you have not seen Sergeant Yellow Pepper, he's been in several YouTubers' videos. He's pretty well known in the Napoleon Total War game, at least by most people. And he's a very tough opponent, and this is actually my first time playing against this guy, and I believe one of my teammates is like, "Whoa, aren't you the dude from so-and-so's video?" to this guy, and I'm like, "Oh, he's been in several videos, he must be good." And it turns out he was pretty good, but you'll see what he does this game, his strategy and all. And then over here, another French unit, and then of course we have Prussia General Staff over here, and this enemy. So let's begin. I'm just going to speed it up in the beginning. Obviously not a lot of action occurs in the very beginning. Troops just start moving, and as you can see, they're like Usain Bolt there, sprinting up that mountain. And it'll be like this. And as you can see, this is Sergeant Yellow Pepper's strategy, actually. His strategy is to line up all his troops in these woods and basically just hide there. And while that's a good strategy, if he doesn't have any good opponents, or I mean good teammates, then he's kind of screwing his teammates there by camping here. And it'll make a good defense and all, so it's very difficult to get him in here unless over here our Prussia went behind and attacked from the rear. But as you can see, all our troops are just going to charge up the mountain, and same with enemy Prussia over here. He's going to move up his cav units, and of course his infantry are going to be slowly coming behind. And over here, other France, he's started at the very back, so he's going to have some time, quite a bit of time to play catch up against our troops. But if you look over here, basically my troops, my cav units were trying to get as far up the mountain as you can get, and basically just get up there pretty fast. And I'm going to deploy some of my units over here, I believe. yes, you can see my units are running there. And now we're going to slow it down a little bit because the action's going to start happening in just a moment. Here's Spain with his guerrilla units. Once again, that spawned outside the mountain, or outside the spawn zone, my bad. This is actually one of my favorite games of all time. Going back and watching it, it's kind of funny to see like how I played, because this is after I just got the game, a few games into it, and it's just funny to see my strategies and like how noobish I was during this time. And I'm not gonna spoil the outcome. I don't like to do that. As you could tell from like the previous videos, I won every battle. That's not the case for every single battle. I lose a lot of them too, so you'll see what happens in this battle. It's a fun battle, and it comes down to like the last man and all, and well, for one of the teams, I guess. But anyways, as you can see, Spain set up their little spikes, so Cav units shouldn't go through that. If they do go through that, they're pretty much screwed. Here we go. We missed a little bit of the action. Prussia was setting up here to attack, and they basically called off their units once they saw that there's no real point in shooting at trees. Okay, so over here, just speed up till anything happens, anything at all. This is one of the battlefields that does take some time to set up, just because you're charging up a giant hill and your units are going to get tired. They do get tired in this game. That's one thing that's pretty cool about units, is that they do get tired and they don't just keep on like have infinite energy and can charge up a hill just as fast as they're running down a hill. And over here, France is going to charge at the guerrilla units. As you can see, he ran around the spikes, which is kind of smart, but I mean, he's running right into a giant trap, and I don't think he noticed this because I believe all these units were hidden, but as soon as I saw those units, I would have moved back. And look over here, he brought Napoleon Bonaparte to the battle, and that guy is like really, really expensive. He's like as much as an elite unit, and you don't want to charge Napoleon into the battle unless like you absolutely have to, like as a last resort. So that was pretty dumb. As you can see, his units are still charging. They're not going to pull off, and that's not very smart. I would have pulled off, like at least me now that I'm more experienced with this game, I would have pulled off right away. And as you can see, one of his units routes immediately. Just get in some action. It's really loud. Here's Napoleon over here somewhere with his general bodyguard unit. Pretty cool. It's kind of crazy that he's doing this. And as you can see, Napoleon just died right there. That's what that means. Enemy general killed. And yeah, this didn't go well for France too much. So just real quick, I set up some of my units. I am Britain, as you can tell. I set up my 2 rifle units pointed towards the woods to fire at his voltigeurs, or whatever, however you pronounce that. I'm not French, excuse my French. And they're just gonna fire into the trees and waste a lot of ammo and get shot a lot, which is pretty dumb. Now that I know that bullets don't go through trees, I probably would have changed something up there eventually. As you can see, France is finally making some progress with his infantry. He wasted pretty much all his Calv units. I believe this is Sergeant Yellow Pepper's Calv units, actually. And I forget who the other France was. I just forget his name. I was too busy like talking earlier to really remember. All I know is that Sergeant Yellow Pepper's down here, and he's got a great defense going. And as you can see, music to his ears probably. These guys drumming away their shots. Here they're reloading. He's got militia at the front, actually, surprisingly. I guess he doesn't want to waste his more accurate units firing. And over here, here's France. France, I don't know what France is thinking here. France has got all his troops in like box formation.
Our general is under attack.
My general was what, like over here somewhere? I don't even remember where my general was, to doesn't matter. Anyways, he didn't get killed or anything, so it's all good. And so Spain's got his units set up very well placed around this hill and surrounding them. And this is what you want to do. You want to spread out your troops like this in a single or double line and basically spread the enemy and try and encircle them. That's what this strategy is called. Over here, up on the top of the screen, if you look at the map, this is Prussia getting to the top of the hill. They aren't in battle yet. That's the enemy Prussia. And my strategy for this game was just to spread my troops and help my teammates out because I really couldn't do anything about Sergeant Yellow Pepper down here. It's very difficult to get him back there. I do set up some troops and start firing pretty effectively at his Voltigeurs over here. And yeah, they're getting some of the kills. Like, they just dropped 10 of them right there with one volley, so that's pretty effective. I'm pretty sure he's gonna notice that though, that he's getting shot from the hills. Yeah, see, I'm getting a few shots back at me now. But here we're just gonna watch France as they get pummeled by bullets, and that's not like giving anything away right there, seeing the way they're set up. They're just a mess. I mean, somebody like had a throw up or something. It's like they just vomited all over the battlefield with their setup. Weird metaphor, whatever. Don't care. Yeah, so he's got this encircling strategy going on. And what I always do is I always check to see if I'm firing in the hill. See, most of his troops here are firing into the hill, but actually, now that his troops are more spread out, he's firing right at those guys. And here comes the Spanish cavalry. They don't get killed because the spikes are facing the other way. They'll only get killed if they retreat. So they don't really have much choice except to charge at the enemy. And I think he has a unit in box formation. It's really hard to tell with like this chaos going on. France really should have done better strategy setting up. I've played this battlefield several times, and I know when I'm setting up on this side of the battlefield, I set up right about over here, right in that area. Line infantry with light foot in front and all. Over here, back where I am, I moved one of my infantrymen to front attack the line of trees here. And I saw this cav coming, but basically they shoot at you, and I didn't know that because I was a noob at this game then. So they get a lot of my men here. That's not a lot of the militia killing me right there. It's actually was a giant shot of the chasseurs. And then I retreat my men as soon as I see that. That was a pretty dumb strategy. I should have seen the militia coming, but I think I was just like in awe up here watching my teammate basically pummel France. Look at that. His units are starting to rout. 28 of old guard left. Now that's just a waste of old guard. You never want to send your elites into the battle first. And he does make it past the spikes right there since he's coming around the little rock there. So he is able to protect that. And he does catch Spain off guard, I believe. So Spain's going to retreat some of his men. At least his Lightfoot. So, because Lightfoot can't go in box formation, if you don't know that, and if you haven't played this game before. So that's one thing to take note of. Always have your Lightfoot by infantrymen who can go in box formation. As you can see here, he's only got 12 Voltigeurs left. They stayed throughout the battle for a long time. That's the one thing about not getting your general killed like other France did. Once you lose your general, you basically need to really conserve troops because your troops won't come back. They won't rally back if you lose your general. So you really want to protect your general when you're fighting in these battles. Man, it's been quite a while since I've done a Total War commentary, but that's because I love playing the game. It's hard to commentate over it because there's just so much to talk about, especially in these teammate battles like 3v3s and all. Usually I do like team battles. I don't like to do single battles. He's pretty much firing right into that hill right there, and this guy is firing right into the bottom of the hill. That's the one thing about the Napoleon Total War is that your troops don't know how to aim. Like, if they see some troops within their range, but there's a hill in the way, they'll just shoot in the hill. They're gonna aim at where the troops are, and the bullets don't travel through the ground, obviously, so that's one thing they should have fixed with this game. But you can, like, toggle fire at will and turn that off so your troops aren't firing at the ground, but then you have to turn it back on whenever soldiers do get in range and you do want to fire again. So you have to pay attention to those troops quite a lot. Over here, once again, my troops are sitting up. I got my Coldstream Guards and 1 foot unit. The Coldstream Guards are basically badasses, at least when it comes to charging at the enemy and all. And yeah, you don't want to mess with these guys in a melee fight unless you have someone like the Old Guard for France. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyways, France over here, top France, is getting their butts kicked. They don't have much chance right now. I don't know what these Chasseurs are thinking. I think they're gonna come in and just sit there. I don't know. But anyways, Prussia's getting into it, and as you can see, my foot unit have lost a lot of men. Just because they do have the height advantage. The hill does give you a big advantage. I believe one of my units down here fighting Sergeant Yellow Pepper have used all their bullets, so I'm not sure if they're going to pull back or if they're going to fall back. Either way. My foot guards, which are elites, they're charging up here. Once again, this shows you my inexperience of when I battled. They're fighting all alone. Prussia's just sitting there and they're not really helping me. Our team, Prussia, I mean. That's our team, this is the enemy. But yeah, they do set up so that they can shoot the enemies, it seems like. But they're gonna fall back once they see that my teammates aren't gonna help me. So back over here, I pulled my troops back just because they were surrounding us. And so I was like, I'm gonna leave it up to you, Spain, get some shots off at them. And that's what they're gonna do, since my units are pretty well depleted. Here you can see his Lanceros de Castilla are on the move. Let's see what they decide to do. They decide to get shot at. So he's got to make them charge. You can't just have them walking. I don't know if he notices that yet, but we'll see. And up here once again, the French army has set up a little bit better. They're still not perfect, and they're still getting their butts kicked, like these grenadiers here. They lost about half their unit, but they're doing pretty well, I guess, for having a sucky general, sucky player command them. I feel bad for these guys. Over here, there's more grenadiers. These guys actually aren't getting shot too bad. These Dutch grenadiers, they don't seem to be a real grenadier unit. That's weird. Apparently they look like they're line units, but yeah, he just lost a big group of them right there on one shot from the enemy. Up here, we're gonna see the Prussian Civil War going on. I don't know if that actually happened or not, but yeah, 2 Prussia armies are gonna battle it out and duke it out. Prussia versus Prussia. Our Prussia actually seems to be in a pretty good position. They have a lot of units to call upon if these units get depleted up front. And he's gonna have his light infantry do the first shooting. And I believe he's gonna spread them out so they crouch, so his teammates could come up, or I mean his musketeers could come up behind him and shoot over these guys. It's kind of difficult on a hill though. Where are my men running? That's what I have to say. Yeah. So Sergeant Yellow Pepper, he's got some of his units outside of the battle zone and they're just getting shot at. It's just militia, so he doesn't really care about them. I guess they're kind of good to use as like meat shields, as awful as that sounds. As you can see, this is where the real action's taking place right now though, is the Prussian Civil War that I call it. They're kind of shooting into the ground though, so most of these units are protected pretty well. I guess if they aim a little bit higher, they will get some kills, as you can tell. It looks like he's gonna move back these Siberian, I'm not even gonna say. But look at this charge right through the spikes. that's gonna kill a lot of our cavalry, my teammates' cavalry, 10 of them at least. Yeah, the spikes do a pretty good job, but they do not protect the rifles, as I like to call them, fully. So that's why you should always have your men, your foot guards, or your musketeers who are fighting behind your rifles, have them there and have them ready to go in box formation. As soon as you see a cav charge, even if you have spikes laid down, you want to move those rifles back. And see, even those cav died, a lot of them, they did their job at getting rid of those rifles at least. He still has 1 rifle unit, and I'm not sure if the rules were like 4 rifles total or something, or 5, but I'm pretty sure there's no artillery allowed, or at least if there were, people really didn't care. Over here, this is the enemy Prussian army, I believe. Nope, my bad. These are our teammates. I probably would have been moving a little bit. But as you can see, our Prussia is encircling the enemy, and so the enemy is retreating, which they had no choice really at this point. Right now, the enemy is losing. France is pretty much dead and gone, at least the France that decided to waste Napoleon's Bonaparte and his bodyguards. They're pretty much all dead, and now it's left up to Sergeant Yellow Pepper and this Prussian army who's retreating up here. So we're going to watch the Prussian retreat, and as you can see, the men are retreating, and I have moved my cavalry units all the way across the map. These guys are exhausted and very tired, and if they want to have like any chance to rest, here's the chance. I'm just gonna rest them. As you can see, he's moving his cavalry units though, so I need to be very careful about that. Let's watch the rest of France die. It's very hard to commentate on 3v3s. I wish I had all the footage of each team battling, but that would take at least 3 hours to make, or just record everybody's perspective. Excuse me. Throat's really dry. Anyways, the old guard are making a final charge out of desperation. They're gonna get their butts screwed right there, and now Spain can focus mainly on Sergeant Yellow Pepper, and that's what they're gonna do once this Prussian army gets pushed all the way to the brink of destruction. Okay, so as you can see, Prussia is rallying pretty bad. That tone I just took. Yeah, I just took a break actually. I edited out the break, obviously. But yeah, I just watched the Seahawks win the football game. Yeah. Anyways, forget about that. So as you can see, press play. I didn't mean it for to pass forward. But my rifles used all their ammunition, so they're gonna charge valiantly to their deaths, and he's gonna basically shoot them all up and repel them from making it there. My units were a little bit stronger, then yeah, that would have been good. Anyways, I'm gonna line up my men, and we're gonna focus mostly on Sergeant Yellow Pepper. Over here, you can see my dragoons. I'm not really noticing my units getting shot right now. I kind of forgot. So that's not very good. I should probably move my units, and as soon as I hear that, then I return focus to my cav units. It'll just take a minute. As you can see, I start to move them, which is what I probably should have done earlier. But yeah, over here you can see Spain is helping our Prussian units to fight the enemy Prussians, and that's very helpful actually. And as you can see, I'm actually going to make another charge up the hill, which is kind of hard to do because if you know, running up hills not too good. A lot harder than running down the hill, and more effective. Over here we're gonna try and surround the forest, and my foot units have made a charge and they were able to make it to the front lines of the enemy French. They're gonna repel the Volunteers, and I'm gonna have my foot units charge even further. So that's what they really need to do. They need to charge further up, get all up in Sergeant Yellow Pepper's face. I lost my cav units up there. There's nothing really to see now up here. I'll just show it to you. It's basically Prussia making one last final attempt to repel the enemy Prussian, or I mean his enemy Prussian, which is our teammates. It's so weird to say that. I wish they chose two different armies. Would have made it a lot easier to say and all. Anyways, forget all about that. We're gonna have Spain encircling, helping me out now. And my units right here are just waiting. I'm gonna move up my Highland foot. Love these guys. I should have chose the Black Watch. They're my favorite unit. Just, you know, like heritage and all that shit. Okay, so we got our foots moving up. We have some Prussian or Spanish reinforcements right behind us, just in case something goes bad. And we're gonna fire up in these woods, let them on fire. And he's got the militia up the front, so that's not gonna be a very good, effective force to repel these Walloon guards, because these guys are elites, and it takes a lot to get rid of elites, not just easy militia. And that's why my foot are still alive, charging into the militia force. It's because it's militia I've been fighting in, like depleted volunteers who are like scared out of their minds that they're gonna die and be the next one's dead. So yeah, my foot guards are getting shot from enemy units now from behind, but they have done a very good job at charging the enemy, and we've taken down this militia almost. They're down to 44. They're gonna run away. Look at these guys. They've gained a lot of those nice sergeant bars right there, and they're getting experience right now. 23 of them left, and they're still charging. I think that's pretty amazing.
Our men are running, sir.
Now they're finally gonna get depleted though, once they see that there's only 20 of them left. Here's where we start to push into the woods. We've repelled their front lines, or sergeant's front lines. Up here we have killed the enemy general of the Prussian forces, and now they're really gonna break. We do have our foot guards still alive with 32 of them left, chasing after some enemies. Let's get back to where the main battle's going on, what's left of it at least. As you can see, I'm gonna move my Highland foot and my soldiers up. My Coldstream guards have run out of ammo, so they're gonna make a charge. Did they make it? Yes, they do. They're kind of scared. Only 24 of them left.
Our men are running.
Long way to charge, but they're not gonna make it actually. My bad. Kind of hard to charge all that way through the forest, getting shot at from behind, getting shot at from the front. Very difficult. But yeah, we have taken the front of the woods, the forest here, and his units are lined up. Now they're fighting up the hill. We do have the hill advantage now. Got half of his Polish Legion left, and they're still dropping. Over here, he does have one other Polish Legion who haven't really died quite yet. They aren't in the fight actually yet, so that's one advantage. Now they're gonna start taking some shots off at our men. My men are advancing, but as soon as they see that Polish Legion, they're gonna get up close so that they see the whites of their eyes, and now they're gonna start firing right here. Look at that. These are the Highland foot units. The Scottish men. That's right. That's where you can see like the plaid pattern there. They're Scottish. Anyways, we do have some Lightfoot left, 75 of them. Pretty good number. Fighting at this Polish Legion, who are charging up the hill. I think they ran out of ammo, and so they really don't have a choice. What I would have done is actually left my men back, pulled up some new fresh units, and then had them charge as soon as my units like got too close. That way they didn't get killed so much, because obviously they're not going to make it up that long hill.
One of our
They're going to get tired.
all its ammunition, sir.
Let's see. What unit did use all their ammunition? Was it? I think it was the Highland Foot. Might have been. I'm not sure. Anyways, over here I got my German Kings unit. These are elites, I believe. If not, they're pretty badass anyways. And they're fresh. They haven't gotten in the fight yet. And as you can see, I'm going to help Spain here take out these I believe they're, what are they again? Polish Legion. I always forget that name. And the Polish Legion are going to fall. They don't really have much of a chance. And Sergeant Yellow Pepper's making a final assault, and he's like hanging in there pretty well, but there's no real chance of him winning at this point. I'm not really giving anything away. You can kind of tell who's probably going to win this battle. My Lightfoot are going to move up. As you can see, we have pushed through the woods and are making our way to his general's unit. It's really hard to tell what's going on here. We've got our foot, 53 of them left, firing at some enemy Polish Legion. 93 of them, 95, my bad. And his left flank is actually holding up better than his right now. As you can see, he's pushing up that left flank, but he's losing a lot of his men on the right. He's got his Chasseurs Chevaux in the woods charging up that hill. They're gonna get tired though. I don't see the point of like hiding cavalry in the forest really, except like 1 or 2 maybe to repel anything that came down from the beginning. But since we didn't try to attack them in the beginning, there's really no point to have that many cavalry in the forest hiding. As you can see, Spain and my Highland Foot are getting a little bit depleted, but his Polish Legion don't really have much of a chance. He's made a charge with his cavalry here, and Spain decided to bring, or I decided to bring my cavalry, my bad. Bad commentating going on right now. And my cavalry are going downhill, so these guys are lancers, and they're going to take out a lot of the cavalry and scare them away. I believe his general has died. I'm not sure about that yet. I can't confirm it. It's hard to tell what's going on in the woods. But that ends this battle. It was very fun. You can look and see how well we did compared to the enemies. I only lost 960 men. That's mainly because I didn't charge up the front lines. Enemies killed 1,072. I thought that said like 1,600 for a minute. I need new glasses or something. But yeah, we did kill more enemies than our enemies killed of us. You can look at some unit statistics. But anyways, that's it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed one of my favorite battles from the beginning of when I got this game, and it was fun. Good game to Yellow Pepper, Crown, and Desert Fox. Peace, guys. Enjoy my videos and want to support my channel even more? Consider supporting me through the use of Patreon, allowing you access to cool rewards.
There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. Because maybe